You just check out a new link if it ain't working or what you think.
That's we live now. He said we waiting on you, bro.
Hey, we live. Man.
You know, we had to live up to the African expectation.
Of course.
African time.
There's no African time that ever started.
So, I think we did well though. Only 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's being on time, you know.
For everyone tuned in, sorry for the delay. We're live now, and welcome to another episode of the Pepper Soup Talk Show, where we bring to the table movers and shakers in the African diaspora. My name is Aki. Here's my partner Toby, and we're very excited for this episode today because we're gonna cover a topic that is starting to be talked about more, and we're starting to see more in the mainstream media, and that's cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And so our guest today started in the crypto space in 2017.
Yep.
He's a cryptocurrency trader and investor, and in a few short years managed to become so well versed at trading and investing crypto that he was able to leave his 9-to-5 and go into it full time. And so he basically retired through crypto investing. And so we're excited to have this conversation to talk about what exactly crypto is. If you hear all these terms around Bitcoin and Ethereum and the blockchain, and so we're going to cover what exactly crypto is, how he got into it, his journey, and if you're someone who's already in the space, you'll be able to get value from this conversation to add to your already existing toolbox. And so West Africa's finest. He's from Guinea, West Africa.
Yeah. And when I started, I was like, I'm gonna be the Guinean crypto king.
So
it's crazy. So.
Without further ado, I welcome the Pepper Soup Talk.
All right.
Keita.
Yeah, Keita. Ferebory Keita.
Ferebory Keita.
That's the full name. And so, how did I get into crypto?
Well, before we even get to that, let's start with where you're from. So,
okay.
So we know you're from Guinea.
Yeah. Grew up, born and raised in Guinea, West Africa. Came to the States at the age of 12, and did most of my primary education here in Middletown, Delaware. We're in Philly right now.
Talk to the mic.
I don't know if they can hear me, but yeah. So went to William Penn High School, and then did a lot of sports. That's what being from a African background, played soccer, joined the leagues. My dad was always there, taking me around and stuff, and they were working like 3 jobs. My dad worked 3 jobs, my mom worked 2 jobs, and I could probably see them once every week, and my mom probably would go a month, 2 months, I don't see my mom, because she does living. She had a lot of responsibilities to take, so I saw that growing up, that seeing that, and I'm like, man, I gotta do something to change. At that time I was more entrepreneurial mindset. I was always looking for ways to make money, even at that age. Got on eBay, started selling sneakers, and got scammed with that. And funny story, I had gotten scammed. Someone did something, and I owed PayPal money. So it was for a while, 2 weeks, I'm just stressing, I owe $250. And then I get a letter in the mail saying, oh, we'll take you to court and all this stuff. So people were looking at me like, yo, is everything okay? They knew something was not going on, something right was not going on. So told my mom, hey, this is what happened. And she was like, what did I tell you? Get off the internet. Why are you always looking for stuff? Why are you looking for trouble? and she ended up paying for the money, and that case was closed. But I kept going. Like, you see ads on YouTube all the time regarding different ways to make money. So I was always that kind of guy that always looked at different type of venues to make money. So, so I had gotten to Amway, 5 Links, Cutco, like selling knives, door-to-door sales, trying to build a team, But anyway, long story short, I was always looking to find different ways to make money outside the 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
So, but, graduated from William Penn High School, went to University of Delaware. That's where I met Paul. Met him through Harmon. I don't know if he's watching, but we missed you, man. And
shout out to Harmon.
Shout out to Harmon. Yep.
It's been some of our events.
He's been there, right? So I was actually supposed to come to one of the events. Like, you had invited me.
Okay.
And I said, I'm going to cook, bring my own dish, and then they just didn't fall through. So,
those are the peanut stew?
Yeah,
peanut soup?
Yeah, definitely. So, so I was looking into, at the time we talked into having a restaurant, but didn't have capital, and, it's a lot of work, and I was just like, that didn't fall through. But anyway, so studied finance because, I wanted to learn more about financial literacy, and I thought this would be the most important thing that I could study in school, and find different ways to make money. I was thinking the stock market then. So, so when I got out, I got into Sally Mae, doing sales over the phone, and that I was, one of the best, or if not the best, at what I did there, doing sales. So something happened at work. It was a racial thing where I was number one, but they didn't want to show the executives that I was number one in the department. So they give it to someone who was, a different color. So he even came and tapped me on the back and said, "Hey, man, I know you won this one. I didn't win," and stuff. So, I had to take it up to the managers. They brought out the higher ups. They did the audit. They were like, "Okay, we messed up." So they recognized me the next month. So after that, I just didn't want to be there no more. So, and then from there, I went to JP Morgan.
Yeah.
Doing client service and dealing with the rich multi-millionaires, some billionaire clients, and they would just, talk to you a certain way where you felt like you were not important, or they'll belittle you because they have all this kind of money. So I was just you know what? I'm not here to be someone's pet or something like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. And then I looked into different avenues. So then I started driving Uber. And I'm like, I was actually one of the first drivers in Delaware, Uber driving.
Wow.
So
you were driving Uber before it became,
the thing.
Real side hustle for people.
Yeah, so I was one of the first drivers, and before then I would get off of one ride and then ping, another ride. Yeah. So, and they all kind of knew me. They're like, "Oh, you're the only driver here," and they're like, "We're always waiting on the app, waiting to see who shows up." So I was that guy. Yeah. So I was always looking to new things: Uber, Lyft, even freaking Caviar, DoorDash. This way back, when they were first starting. Yeah. So that's my history pretty much. I know I'm going off of a tangent.
No, we want to definitely hear your background and hear about, just your overall journey as well. Mm-hmm. And, we'll definitely get into the crypto, which is the reason why we know a lot of you guys are on the chat right now. And before we even continue, I just want to thank everyone who is tuned in today to Pepe Soup Talk. Yeah. If you like what you're seeing so far, please definitely give us a thumbs up below the video and click the notification button at the top right. Mm-hmm. But so now I know that you mentioned your mother getting angry at the whole eBay thing, and we know how shout out to all the African mothers out there. But we know,
For sure.
our parents can be, especially, when you come to this country and there's kind of like a expectation for even the route that you take. So like,
even like, a lot of us can relate to this. Coming to America, you don't have papers.
Yeah.
So, what are you gonna do to like make money on your own? So
Yeah.
I've looked at, I did events with my best friend. We're like flipping funnel cakes, like crazy. I'll go on Craigslist, look for jobs. Like people are helping them move. At the time, they give you $20. You're so happy, like, oh my God, like this is great. So let me find the next one. That's how I was, working. Even at the pizza delivery, I was working under the table with that. So earning $6.25 in the hood. At the time, I didn't think about my safety because I'm like, I gotta make money. I don't
get to it.
I don't want to ask my parents because they were doing all this work already, and they were used to. I used to lie to them. Like they were like, "Oh, so what do you work?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just work as a cook inside." They didn't know I do delivery. They're like, "Don't do delivery. Whatever you do not do delivery," because you hear stories, people getting shot, robbed, and all that. So, by God's grace, I'm here today. So,
and then I hear you say, in college that you first got into stocks, and can you talk a little bit about what experiences were with that?
Sure. So it happened in finance class. So they give us like $1 million of fake money to invest in different stocks. So it was like a competition of who could give the most returns after a certain period, like the whole semester. So we had like 4 of us partners, and at the time we had invested in Google, Apple, LinkedIn, the big tech companies pretty much, and then some little, like biotech, like the penny stocks and stuff. So so that's how I got into like stocks and started learning about it. But definitely more so, I would say 3-4 years ago, when I got into crypto, I started looking at stocks and started where? Robinhood. Don't use Robinhood. It's Robin the Hood. It's exactly the name, but yeah, that's how I got into stocks through school pretty much. And then I was like, you know what? This is cool. This is what I want to do. I might want to get on Wall Street one day.
And can you talk a little bit about, you said don't use Robinhood. Can you talk a little bit about some of
the downfalls?
Because Robinhood just went public too. Was it just last week or 2 weeks ago?
So as far as not using Robinhood is that they don't let you trade after hours. So like, after 4 o'clock, market's closed, you can't trade anymore. So if you're into penny stocks like how I was, certain news may drop right at 4 p.m. or whatever, and you want to sell that stock, you can't sell it. You have to wait until the next morning to be able to sell it. They didn't have like after hours trading. So that's why I got on Webull. Webull allows you to trade, I think, from like 4:30 a.m. all the way up until 7 p.m. versus Robinhood.
That's like
pre-market. So Robinhood, I think it's 9:30, right? Market opens. I don't use it anymore. I don't trade stocks anymore like that. So that was the biggest flaw with Robinhood. So it's like you would just see your portfolio go down and you can't do anything about it. Versus other like Webull, you can set limit orders and they can fill and you can sell and get out. So that was the biggest thing for Robinhood. Other than that, the user interface, absolutely fine. They track all the like people that are just getting into investing because it's the easiest thing to use. But it comes at a cost where if you're not trading within those certain hours, I wouldn't recommend using it. So
all right, so let's get into it. So 2017 you got into crypto, and it sounds like throughout your whole life, really, you've always had this entrepreneurial spirit. Always been into investing. Always knew you wanted to make a lot of money.
Yeah, man.
If for people who are tuned in, feel free to put your questions in the chat.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
So that Keita.
Yeah, Keita.
Keita can answer them. As we continue this conversation.
Yeah.
So how did you get into crypto?
Crazy story. So I used to try to find different ways to make money. So I got into gambling, sports betting, and I used to look at stats and go through this website called Wagerline, and you can see all the history of the games that's been played, total, over and unders. I used to study this like a maniac. So I was thinking, you know what, I could be a bookie one day. But I started betting using my bank account to load it was betonline.ag. That was the website that I used to use. And then I saw it says alternative payment methods, and it said Bitcoin. And I was like, what is this? What is this stuff? So, and then I went to it, and it says to deposit. At the time, Bitcoin, the one Bitcoin was $3,200, and I was like, I don't have that much money. I can't do that. And then after that, what really got me into crypto after that is that I looked at my bank account. I kept getting like international transaction fee and all this extra fees. At the time, $20 is a lot of money. So I'm like, you know what? I gotta find a way to avoid this. So I went and I looked into Bitcoin, and then I started like watching videos for like 2 straight weeks, trying to learn about crypto. And I was like addicted. I was like, oh my God, I found the way to be financially free. This is it. This is my chance. And at the time, 2017, and it was like exactly in October, that's when I got into it. It was to the point where I was sleeping like 2 hours a night. Wow. I got sick because I was not getting rest. It's like my brain was not letting me sleep. It's like I discovered something and I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. I was so excited. I kept watching videos after videos after videos, and I just kept researching online. What is blockchain? What is Ethereum? And then started finding these different cryptocurrencies. And then, I got scammed a lot along the way because I didn't know exactly what I was doing, because, I was still kind of learning. So I even have a YouTube channel that I had created then when I learned about the whole cryptocurrency space, and I used to make videos about investing and how to get into crypto. I had that at the time. I was like a normie. I didn't really know much about it, and then that's when I really got into crypto, into Bitcoin. And then my first cryptocurrency that I bought, I will always remember that it was 55 Litecoins. At the time, Litecoin was like $56. And I bought that on Coinbase, and I used to, because at the time, Bitcoin was so slow to use because it takes a lot of fees, because there was a lot of people that are on the network sending Bitcoin to each other. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Let me look into Litecoin. So it was much easier to use. It was faster. It would, you send it from one person to another person. It takes like 5 minutes to confirm, versus Bitcoin. Sometimes you wait an hour or 2 hours at the time back then. So that's how I got into, crypto. And in the beginning, I have this story. I invested in this coin called Devore coin.
Devore coin.
Devore coin. Okay. Yeah. If you look on CoinMarketCap, it's no longer there. It's delisted. It's extinct. So I was lucky enough to get, at the time, it was the ICO initial coin offerings, where these companies would come out and say, invest with us in the very beginning, and you get the cheapest price possible before the coin hits the market. But the problem with that is most of the time they were scams. And a lot of stuff that I had invested in back then, they were all scams. It was all anonymous teams, and sometimes you send your money and that's it, poof, it's gone, and you can't do anything about it because it's a decentralized world. There's no third party there for you to say, hey, I lost my money, can I get it back? Once you lose it, you lost it. It's gone. That's it.
That's it.
So yeah, that's how I had gotten into crypto. And then lucky enough, that was before the run from 3,000 all the way to 20,000. So with the story with Devore coin, I had gotten in very early. I was very lucky to get in, and I bought like 80 cents or so. And at the time, I didn't know about strategies on how to take profits. So when it went to $10, I invested $1,000. I'm like, $10, shoot. A day, 2 days, I waited. Now my money is $10,000. I took it out. That coin went to almost $300. So.
Which it started where?
It started. I bought that coin, I think, back in October or November, and then within a month.
Yeah. At what price?
80 cents.
80 cents.
80 cents per coin. So I watch it go to $10, and I was like, you know what? This is a lot of money. And then I had just gotten hacked. So, and I was like, you know what? Like, I started panicking. I'm like, this is $10,000. This is a lot of money. Take it out, take it out, take it out. Yeah. So I went ahead and sold it. And then I invested in other scams. Yeah. And then started building a little bankroll. But what stung me was that coin went to almost $300.
Wow.
And I missed like almost $250,000 in just starting.
Because you took it out
because I took it out at that time. So that story was always used to hunt me. All my friends know about this story. Yeah. When we go out and things happen, I start reminiscing about that. Yeah. And I'm like, man. So I went through.
What we definitely want, we want to peel back the layers through your journey and even get into, because you talk about scams, because there are a lot of scams out there, and I'm trying to figure out what is legitimate and what is not. Before we even get into that, I know Toby's got a lot of questions for you too. So
for sure.
I want to
be quiet over there.
I'm not even sure where to start from. So back in 2017. So I think I saw you doing your videos on Instagram. I forgot where I saw it.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. I reached out to you like, yo, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. Put me on a couple things. And then, was following you for a little bit. So one of the things, like you were saying, there was a lot of scams. It was very disheartening.
Yeah, still today. Yeah.
Like you try to get into a lot of things.
You get the Instagram messages, in the DM about.
Don't ever believe
give
that.
me $5,000 and we'll pay you $5,000.
Exactly.
Things that don't even make sense.
Does that
100% guarantee.
Exactly.
I'm like,
no one will ever give you 100% guarantee on your money. So don't ever believe that. If anybody tells you, why aren't they doing it for themselves? So a lot of people getting scammed like that. Facebook, Instagram, and one of his buddies, I told him, don't do it. He still went ahead and did it. I'm like, all right, your money's gone. He didn't listen. Like, this person's legit. They show this. I'm like, anybody who guarantees you returns, straight, they're scamming. Yeah. But go ahead.
Oh yeah. And I was saying there's even Telegram groups.
Yes.
All these other things. So a lot of smoke and mirrors. So one of my crucial questions to you is like, even after all of that, what kept you keep going?
Man, it was just the drive that I had for crypto, and I was like, I put myself in a box where I'm like, this is my only way at financial freedom. So I never quit. Like all my other friends that I had a Telegram group. It's probably extinct now. Like back then, 2017, and we all did crypto. We all invested in scams together. Some of us made money a lot. Or most of us, we all lost money. I think I went to like 25,000. I ended up losing it all because Bitcoin went from 3K to 20,000. The market was just sweet. You just put your money anywhere, and then you get good returns. And then when they crashed back to 3,000, that's when everything fell to like you could have coins that were worth 20,000, and then during the crash they're worth 0. So I was not taking profits because I was thinking maybe this is the next Bitcoin. A lot of people make that mistake today because they're thinking, okay, this coin is gonna make me a millionaire. This coin is gonna do this. It's gonna do that. No, just when you have gains at certain levels, just take the profits, take some off the table, because the crypto is highly volatile. Nothing is guaranteed. Everything can go to 0. Okay.
Now before we go on, and for people on the chat and on the live, can you explain exactly what a cryptocurrency is and what Bitcoin is?
Yeah. So So just cryptocurrency, just think of as, I always tell people, it's magic internet money. So it's money that's online that you can send anywhere in the world, and it's the same value. There's no intermediaries. You don't have to worry about foreign exchange, and there is no bank. So if you want to send money to somebody, that is the fastest way to send money. So, you know, a lot of times in our countries back home, if you want to send money, you got to go through MoneyGram, and they take a certain fee from you. You know, all the third party, if you want to send a large amount of money, it's a headache.
Yeah.
You know, goes through all these questions. Where did you get this money? Or, you know, the person who got it. Like recently, I made a purchase back home, and I had to go through that. And I was like, you know what? I got to find a way to send money easier back home.
Yeah.
So crypto was definitely that. So what cryptocurrency is, just think of it as internet money that you can send anywhere in the world with no intermediaries, and it is fully transparent. So blockchain is just like a distributed ledger, which is it's like pretty much an accounting Excel spreadsheet that has every single transaction that has ever occurred since the beginning of time. So what I trade mostly is Ethereum. So Ethereum is built on, you know, smart contracts, and you can see every single transaction that anyone has done, and no one can lie to you about what they did. If you know somebody's wallet, you'll know exactly what they did. They can't say, hey, I did this happened. No, you can just go and see for yourself. That's why when Bitcoin was just, you know, in the beginning phases, people were saying, oh, they use it for money laundering and all this stuff, for drugs. You know, that may have been true, but the number one money laundering machine is paper money. So that's because that's basically sometimes, you know, untraceable. But as far as Bitcoin, everything is online. Anyone can view. If you do an investigation, you can find. But there are certain things that people have online to have some kind of anonymity where you don't know exactly what they did or certain transactions. But for the most part, for the average user, everything is pretty much on the distributed ledger. I just call it like an Excel spreadsheet that has all the transactions on there. So that's pretty much what blockchain is and cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I think it could be difficult to wrap your head around it if it's something that you're just learning about, and if if you've been in the space, then all the terminologies, whether it's blockchain, the ledger, and all that, it makes sense. But it's definitely, I think, especially with our community too, like when we're oftentimes, because you hear about scams and you hear about don't go in that direction.
Yeah.
And so we've seen Bitcoin go up to over 60,000 now this year. But I think that something that Toby brought up, which is really commendable too, is when Bitcoin rose from 3,000 to 20,000 in 2017 going to 2018, and then crashed. The fact that you really kept active in it, because Toby mentioned putting some money in. I remember putting money in during that time too, and then I remember when it crashed, and I think I took some out. I think I just left some of it there, and it wasn't even that much. But I kind of just like forgot about crypto until this became a thing again. But you kept going. So
it's funny you mentioned that. When you say forgot about crypto, that is a time where you want to get in.
Right.
So I always say this: when you hear something on the news, oh, this thing is blowing up, chances are it's too late. Don't get, like Dogecoin got into this crazy craze, and everybody was hitting me up, how to buy Doge. I'm like, it's a meme coin, it went up crazy, and it's just it's just greater fool's theory. It has no use practically. Well, Elon Musk is now trying to incorporate Dogecoin into Tesla and all this stuff. But as far as Dogecoin was created as a meme, as a fun cryptocurrency where you could send within each other, and it was it was worth in 0.0000000.
Yeah.
Like you had so much that you could send someone 10 trillion Dogecoin and they're like, oh, it's just it was like, okay. But now, the price obviously rose, and there's a lot of other people out there who own Dogecoin that they can crash the entire price. There's like, I think 3 or 4 people that have 20 or 30% of the entire supply, and if they decide to sell, they can crash the entire price of Dogecoin.
Yeah.
So
and we definitely want to get up to the present day too, but even before we get to that point, just continue to peel back the layers. During that time, like after Bitcoin crashed in 2017, and you kept at it, what was it that gave you the belief in Bitcoin and crypto to keep going? Because I think that it's different with the stock market, right? Because like stocks go up, stocks go down, it's cyclical. Yeah. However, even to this day in 2021, there's still a lot of people that feel like, that don't even fully believe in the space. Yeah. Even as you're seeing these big institutions and people come in, like as it's becoming more mainstream, even with that, there's still people who are like, I don't know, like, should I put money into it? So during that time, when it was even much earlier, and the market crashed, I think there are a lot of people who were like, either this definitely this is done, or we're like, I don't know if this is gonna come back. Yeah. So what was your mindset during that time after it crashed, and then what was your process of sort of, I guess, becoming better at whether it was trading and investing? And because you're also seeing your friends or people around you who, you said the Discord group is extinct.
Telegram.
Telegram is extinct.
I had called the crypto money team. Yeah. And nobody's there anymore. They hit me up. Some people were like, oh wow, you still kept at it. They were like, I knew I believed in you. I'm like, thank you. So yeah. So what made me believe in crypto? I just knew that it works and it solves a major problem where transferring money all over the world seamlessly, that is a problem in like now, especially when it's a large amount of money that you need to send to wherever you want in the world. So I knew it worked, and I also looked at previous history and what caused the crash and what's the they say history repeats itself. So at the time, Bitcoin had just gone through a halving. So what that means is that for each block, for each block that gets mined by different people all over the world that are keeping the network, they get rewarded in Bitcoin. So when it's just basic economics, supply and demand. So at the time, 2017, Bitcoin had just gone through a halving. So the supply,
and so these are the miners who are like verifying the transaction
on the blockchain. Okay. And they're running mining rigs with their computers. That's what makes it decentralized, because there's not one central space that's controlling the whole network. So it's all people from all over the world that are participating in mining, but it does cost a lot of money as far as electricity wise. So
and then this halving event, cause I know that's something that happens every few years.
Yes, I think every 4 years Bitcoin goes through like a halving. So, and it had gone just through that, and the market states that whenever that happens, it goes crazy.
So, and with that, like Bitcoin's being cut in circulation, right? It's like they're taking away.
Yeah. So the amount of rewards that the miners are getting now are less. So they used to get a lot more, but it cuts in half, and it keeps cutting in half until everything has been mined. So as far as basic supply and demand, supply goes down, the price goes up. So that was part of it that caused the whole, the whole bull market in 2017, and then it had, went through the big crash. And I looked at the history, and I started figuring out, okay, maybe there'll be another one, So I kept at it, and I kept saying, please God, give me another chance. This time I would not mess up. So
and you knew that having an event was gonna come again.
Yeah.
So that's also really a testament to, cause you really did your research. You really understood what was going on.
Yeah, and then you have all these smart people, like rich people, like the Jack Dorseys, the Elon Musk of the world, and all these other people who are investing in Bitcoin. They believe in the tech, and then you look at the whole blockchain space. You look at these developers, a lot of them are very smart. So a lot of smart people are getting into crypto, and you're like, this is something. This is gonna work, and you just kept at it, and they said follow someone who's more knowledgeable than you, who's more successful than you, then you can get there one day.
So here's my question: why didn't you tell me this in 2017 when I went out? Nah, I'm playing.
Trust me, I wanted to quit. My mom used to tell me, "You wasted all your money, all your savings. Just make money. Just save. The African parents, And I'm thinking, this is not life. I'm not gonna keep going into work every day, come back and just pay bills and then take a 2-week vacation. I was like, this is not it. And I see them working all the time. I'm like, there's no way in hell that I could tell them, hey, cut down on your workload by making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. So I was like, there gotta be another way. You see people, they got money. You're like, where in the world are they getting their money from? There's ways, and that's why you have to like I created Telegram groups to teach people how to get into it. And I'm sorry if you hit me up and the whole market is crazy, and I'm like, I'm swamped. I have 2 computers, and that's why I asked him. I'm like, hey, I'll let you know. And I was like, what? Let me just come out here and let's do this thing, because it's for our people, and hopefully you could reach out to a different audience, and they can look into investing into cryptos and stuff. So
for sure, and just the shout out to everyone who was tuned in. Once again, we're live with Keita.
Yes. They call me Wavy Slime.
Wavy Slime. Wavy Slime on Instagram, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you like what you're seeing, please share this with someone so they can tune in and get this information. Because Keita is dropping some gems on us right now. But to go further into it, can you talk about, let's say, what your first real big trade was, where you made a lot and like you felt like really good about it, and maybe whether it gave you confidence to continue or it made you really feel like, oh, okay, I'm starting to really get this. Because you talked about that coin you invested in, the Vorcoin that went to $300, and you missed out on the opportunity.
Yeah, big $250,000 over, So at the time, I'm like, man, I couldn't stop thinking about that. I'm like, God, just give me another chance. I'll hold this time. And then it's a funny story among all traders, whether it's crypto or stocks. When you buy something and you hold it, you keep holding and holding and holding. It doesn't move. It doesn't go anywhere, and then you end up, or it crashes, or sometimes you sell too early and then it just goes up high. Everybody has these stories. I don't know anyone else who doesn't, and I cry every day, or not cry, but complain like, why did I sell early, or why did I keep holding? Because when I hold, it goes to shit. I sell, it goes to the moon, they say. And I'm like, you're constantly living in this, like, how to balance this out, how to take profits the right way, and what your different strategies and all that. So
there's this one coin I remember back in 2017 called Extra Bytes, XBY, and I was on this Discord, and the way they were talking about this coin, they're saying that because they're creating a platform, and I believe it still exists.
Extrobytes.
And hasn't.
No, there's DigiByte.
Did you buy? I know.
Maybe it was like a fork or some kind of knockoff of it.
And the thing is, the way they're talking about it, it was they were speaking like, okay, you head to the moon, and
Yeah.
you think it's gonna go
Lambo.
10x, 100, all of that, and then I remember the crash happened, and then when the crash happened, not that long after that, there was one of the exchanges, Cryptopia, crash. They shut down.
Yes.
And my money was on there, and that was the end of that.
Yeah. So
For extra buys, but
they say it's a big term. A big term in crypto. They said not your keys, not your crypto. So don't store your money on shady exchanges. So Cryptopia was one, Coin Exchange, Mercatox, all these different exchanges. Maybe some of them are still around, but leaving your money on exchanges, you could wake up one day and your money is gone. So
how did that change your move from, then now? Do you always keep on a private wallet or?
yeah, so what you do, you keep it on a private wallet. You get a ledger. They call it Ledger Nano, or you can get a Trezor. These are offline cold wallets where you store your cryptocurrencies. That way nobody can, access it except you. So those are some of the things that you could use. Even like, MetaMask is really not all that safe, but that's where I'm mainly on to trade.
you said MetaMask not that safe.
I mean, I haven't heard it being hacked. There's always phishing attempts. If you go to the wrong website, you can download something that looks exactly like it.
Oh, wow.
And enter your private key, and then your funds gone.
Wow.
That happened to, someone that I know in the crypto space recently. They clicked on the wrong website. It looks exactly like the original website, and then they enter their information, and boom, their crypto was gone. Phishing attempts. So you gotta be careful what you click on. There's a lot of crypto is legit the wild west. It's dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing, first you gotta educate yourself. I've been scammed, I don't know how many times, maybe over 1,000 times maybe, especially with what I do now. We'll get into it later. But yeah, so.
Wow. So that, and we might skip over it, but that road to, let's say, financial freedom, right? Like we want to get a little deeper into that. So like, the coins that you are researching and decided to invest into, can you take us through your thought process, around like, what ended up being coins that had value and that you were able to make money from, versus coins that you what do they call shit coins?
Everything that's not Bitcoin is a shit coin. That's what they say. Even Ethereum is a shit coin. But Ethereum is big. I prefer Ethereum over Bitcoin. Because it has a lot more utility to it. There's people building on top of Ethereum. But as far as you had mentioned like my big hit. So and also networking is the same way within crypto. You have to network, find people to guide you. There's always somebody out there that knows way more than you do, and you're trying to learn from them. And that's how I got into the Uniswap world, because I was on Twitter, and at the time I was trading on Binance, doing futures trading, short or long Bitcoin, and you do leverages, and they're very risky. And those
you said futures trading Bitcoin or
futures trading Bitcoin solely.
Wow.
So I was on Bybit, and sometimes like, okay, maybe the price of Bitcoin is gonna go down, so I'm like, you know what, let me short Bitcoin, and if it went down.
And just to explain it, so futures trading, that's a derivative, right?
Just like options in the regular stock market, it was the same thing. It's very similar, but It's just like options trading on Robinhood or Webull or whatever, Ameritrade or any other platforms that you use. But in crypto, we call it like futures trading. So where you bet, it's pretty much you're in a casino and you're saying Bitcoin's gonna go up or Bitcoin's gonna go down.
Yeah.
And then you make a certain percentage. So for example, if you did, I know I'm talking a lot.
No, this is good.
I'm just amazed because this is like the risk is on steroids now.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like, man.
And it's very, how would I say this? It's the riskier it is, the higher the returns. So for futures, let's say you went 100x leverage, right? That means if Bitcoin moves 1%, right? And if you bet the right way, you double your money. So if you bet $100,000, right, and you went 100x, well, for the crypto traders out there, you know, exchanges don't allow you to do this, but this is just an example, because they have a cap on how much you can bet. The higher the leverage is. So for, let's say for this purpose, we're just saying, let's just say you bet $100,000 on Bitcoin to go up, and Bitcoin moves by 1%.
Yeah.
You just made 100 grand.
That's crazy.
But at that same rate, if it goes down 1%, your account is wiped out.
And is this trading? Is it usually using margin? Or?
Yes. So this is like margin trading.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty much.
Like, so you're borrowing with the exchange money? Okay.
Yeah. So you put a certain amount and you borrow the exchange money, and you know, if it goes a certain way, positive or negative, you could lose your entire stack that you bet.
So now, what about, you know, you hear about, at least in the stock world, options world, you hear about margin calls and whatnot. Is that a concern when you're doing that, or
yeah,
you know,
I mean
because you might, let's say, be doing a trade that's, I imagine you have time until, let's say, it expires. Or,
yeah. So with this, there is no set time for it to expire. So most of the time, you close your trade within hours. You know, like it could be an hour. Sometimes you could close your trade within a few minutes and you made 200-300% gain because Bitcoin is so volatile. So, and you know, you can set stop losses or take profits along the way. These are all different terminologies that even myself, I'm still trying to learn, but I'm not really into the futures market. I used to do this before I got into Uniswap. So this is where I saw a guy on Twitter and he posted this coin that just did some crazy returns, and he bought a lot of it when it was low. So I asked him, I hit him up in the DM. This is how my whole journey into this different space of cryptocurrencies, which is trading on Uniswap. So he told me, this is the coin, this is where you can get it. So at the time, I started looking into it. I'm like, so what is Uniswap? Go on YouTube, I search, what is Uniswap? How does it work? What is MetaMask? What is this and that? So that's how I got into the whole, you know, that side of cryptocurrency, where it's very risky, very highly volatile. It's decentralized, meaning anyone can create any coin, put it out there, and all these people can rush to go and buy it.
Yeah.
And the dev can rug pull or scam everyone. When they say rug pull, he could take everyone's money. So that's how I got into the whole
Uniswap. And so now, at what point in your journey is this? Because I know during that time you have been working a day job as well, right? And then you left the job.
Yes.
And
So
went full time into this.
Yes.
At what point in your journey did you go full time?
What point did I go full time? I would say earlier, end of December of last year.
Okay.
2020.
2020.
Okay.
Mid pandemic.
Yeah.
What's that? Maybe pandemic. Yeah.
And it's funny. I started learning about Uniswap, a whole nother phase in the whole crypto.
And so now, explain the Uniswap.
So Uniswap, it's what it's called. It's a decentralized exchange, meaning that you don't need to put in your email, your name, your ID, phone number to be able to trade. So no one knows. All you need is a wallet and Ethereum. So right now with Coinbase, you have to put your ID and put in your email, go through all this login information. As far as Uniswap and MetaMask, it's all your stuff. You know? No one asks for email, nothing. So it's completely decentralized. So what makes that dangerous is, you know, there are people out there doing wrong things who may be knowledgeable, making coins, developers, and they can make a fake coin that they'll put on Uniswap. A lot of people rush to buy, and you can't sell it back to Ethereum. So you're stuck with that coin, and you can't sell.
So now, what's the advantage of using a Uniswap versus one of the centralized exchanges? Is it that the coins that you can get on Uniswap you can't on other? Is that
exactly? So Uniswap has, if there's a Telegram bot, and it tells you all the new coins that's created. If you look through that Telegram, every second or every minute, a new coin is created.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
That's wild.
So in the beginning of Uniswap, you know, Ethereum at the time was cheap, $230, $250. This is back in June of 2020. And there were not a lot of people on the network, causing the network to clog up and transaction fees to go through the roof as where they are today. So with that, So with that, a lot of people took advantage and started creating all these different cryptocurrencies. And they would make, you know, crazy Shiba Inu. Have you heard of Shiba? The like of Dogecoin, you know.
So that came through these decentralized
exchanges.
Okay.
Yes. So
interesting.
Yeah. So now I'm not gonna say. I would say 99% of the things that you see on Uniswap are scams.
Wow.
99%. So you have to really work and sniff through all the garbage to find something that might be legit.
Might be legit. So you're not even 100% sure.
Exactly. So
how do you
how do I find out which one is legit?
What are the indicators that, okay, this is legitimate, and then how do you even trust it, that, because knowing that it might not be, or
so cause it's like you're taking a gamble. You're in a casino all day. That's how I explain to people. I'm legit in the casino all day, betting on different coins to see which one is gonna give me the most return.
Wow.
And when I first got into it, it was rough.
Yeah.
I was losing money left and right. I would buy a scam, like put $20, $30, lose it. Put 40, 50, lose it. And then I was just like, man, this is rough. How are people doing this? And then through that, like I said, networking was a big key. I was in a group, and then I was always used to chat in the group. And then I met this other guy who was more knowledgeable than I am. I call him my hero. His name is SpaceX. So
like Elon Musk.
Yes. So this guy legit taught me everything that I knew about crypto, at that particular side. And he took his time. And I used to always email, not email, or send him a direct message, like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do this? And it would take a while for him to respond. But I understand now, because there's a lot of things that used to happen back in the day, and he couldn't reply to me, and I would just, you know what, let me go and learn on my own. So he taught me stuff. So I started learning, and that's how I started learning the whole Uniswap and working with MetaMask and all these things where, it's legit, you're gambling. And so to your question, how do you find out what's legit and what is not? So since everything is on a distributed ledger on a blockchain, you can see what the person did previously if they have previous history. So you can see, okay, this guy created this coin 2 days ago. Where did he get this Ethereum from, or where did he get this money from? Most of the time, when you look and see, okay, they got this money from here. What did they do at that wallet? So that wallet, you could trace it back and see, oh, this guy created this other coin and he scammed people. So Okay, you can rule that out. Okay, that's a scam. Or you can look at the contract. Sometimes the contract is not verified, so you're like, I can't see the contract. I can't look at it to see what's in it or if it's malicious. So you'll know right away. Okay, this might be a bad Most of the time, 99.99%, you'll say, okay, I'm not touching that. That's a scam.
Yeah.
Or you can look at the contract name, and it could say basic ERC20 or some random name that's not the name of the actual token.
Yeah.
You could say, okay, you ruled that out. Yeah.
So, oh, no.
So real.
Are we running out of time?
No,
here?
no. Do you have a hard stop?
No. I was just saying because I didn't know if you guys had a time.
We good. We good.
We definitely no. We want to. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The information that you're sharing right now is very powerful.
Yeah.
You're dropping a lot of knowledge, and even getting into this Uniswap and this other side around crypto is something that I know for sure most people aren't tuned into.
Yeah.
You know, everyone hears about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, and buying them and selling them, and you know, there's more to it as well. And so we definitely want to dig deeper into that too.
Yeah. So I was just trying to say, you know, just for our listeners, if they want to go into the space that you're in, instead of it feeling like they're shooting dice, hoping to get lucky, what are some steps they can do to ensure a better rate of success?
So definitely, like, did I send you the tutorial that I had created? No. So I created this tutorial on Telegram that takes you from the first step, how to buy the cryptocurrency. Creating a Coinbase wallet, and then buying the cryptocurrency, setting up a MetaMask wallet, getting on Uniswap, and what to look for, what to trade, what are different tools, like charting tools. I have all that into a Telegram group that I tell people, like they said they want to learn. I'm like, go watch it, because I don't have time to, you know, like, not to be rude to anyone, but I just don't have the time to sit there and say, this is what you have to do. You have to want to learn on your own, you know? So if you're not willing to go ahead and put in the work and learn those materials on your own, and then come and ask me, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? Then I can't really help you, you know? So.
And now, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, just from that, so can you give like 2 or 3 key points? You did talk a bit about your research, just a little bit, but what's within that manifest? What's like 2 or 3 points you can quickly highlight, if you don't mind sharing?
Man,
or there's just a lot to it.
There's so much to crypto.
Gotcha.
It's you can't really. I could sit here for 2-3 days, tell you so many different things, and there's so many aspects to it to learn. But for beginners, I would say, go through, understand what you're doing. Go through, the materials. Like, I need to, be more active and add a little bit more to it. But as far as that, look into reputable devs that are gonna create a new token. Like let's say a well-known dev is gonna create a secondary token. That token is not a scam because he has a reputable one there for you already. Now, these are very hard to find, but
the devs.
Yeah, there are out there that
developer. You're talking about developer.
Yeah, developers. That's right. So they are out there but it takes, sometimes it's pure luck. I have tools that I use like a tracking bot. It was one coin that this guy's called Andre Crying. He's a big developer within the whole crypto space. He's the pioneer of DeFi, or decentralized finance. So we all knew, like, he used to put out hints on his Twitter account that he's working on a new token.
Yeah.
And and everybody was like, man, I just need to catch the token. Let's go into like fair launch. Fair launch, like you said, ICOs, right? That is when everyone sends their money and you get these tokens at this base price. And they raised this amount of money, and most of them, they just take the money, go have fun, beer, and do all that they're not doing anything to develop the project. So with Uniswap, most of the tokens that launch on there, reason why they give big returns is that it's a fair launch. That means no one has bought the tokens before, and they just come straight on the market, free for whoever buys it. So the earlier you get to get these tokens, the higher the return. So, I used to track this guy. We knew he's gonna come out with a new token, and I had tracker on my phone and see what he does, like if he sent a transaction. And then this guy happened to launch at 5 a.m. in the morning, my time. And guess what? I'm sleeping. And I wake up at 7, and I'm like, man, I missed my chance at financial freedom. And a friend of mine, I think he made like $2 million.
Wow.
Because he was up, awake, and saw everything happen, and he bought the coin.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What was his initial investment, if you know?
At the time, he invested 40 Ether, which is, right now, that's a lot of money. But back then, that was ETH. I think ETH was like $400 or $500, but probably like you put like 20 grand into it, and then turn it to 2-3 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow. So now these coins, because as you're kind of explaining, there are a lot of different ways of approaching the crypto space. You've talked about the Uniswap and MetaMask. You've talked about the ICOs and the fair launching. We know that you could put money into some of these coins and let it sit. So now, for you, how do you divide your time in these different spaces? Are you, at this point, is it mostly that you're doing the Uniswap? Is it that you have, let's say, a certain portion that's sitting in, I don't know, Bitcoin, or so? Like, how do you kind of
Mainly I'm in
time and portfolio?
Yeah. So as far as like diversifying my portfolio, mainly I'm into the Uniswap trading.
Okay.
I say I flip shit coins for a living. So I get in and get out very early.
Yeah.
Unless if it's like a known developer, I hold the coin. With Shiba, we didn't know who developed Shiba at the time. It launched August of 2020.
Yeah.
So, and I was there during the day it launched.
Yeah.
And I bought into Shiba. I think I bought like $300 worth. And then an hour later, it was $600, and I took it out. But when I look back at that transaction today, that's $300 investment is worth $10-15 million.
Wow. And because at the time, we didn't know Shiba was going to be
this big.
The Shiba and the Shiba army.
And this whole community.
It was just, to you, it was just another coin at that time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, to me at the time, it was just another coin, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
So you just don't know which one's gonna do well, which one's not gonna do well. So mainly I get in early, trying to find coins early, get in, take profits, leave some, and just let the rest go, see where it goes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get in, I take it all out because I'm like, I don't believe in this project, and sometimes I'm wrong because I could be like, man, if I would have held, it could be 500,000. It could be $1 million now. Damn. So I'm like, there's all these different stories, but.
And what do you do for security to make sure that because you've talked about the scams, but then there's also your money being secure and it not getting scammed that way too, just from it being. So is there anything that you do to, kind of dot your I's and cross your T's to make sure that
so you pretty much spread out
looking at the web browser or
so that, like, always look into that, and also like emails or phishing things on Telegram, stay away from links. Someone sends you a link, just you don't know what it is, so I try to stay in. Plus, I put my money in different wallets. That way, if one is gone, I have another one. So
what wallets do you?
So I have I have a Trezor that I use that I put my funds on, and also it's on MetaMask.
Okay.
Well, it's your own Ethereum wallet where you own the private keys. So you
and I know the Trezor, that's the actual physical.
Yeah, it's a physical device. It's like a USB.
Okay.
And it's an offline wallet where You call it cold storage, meaning that it's not connected to the internet. So that way, if anyone try to hack into your computer or anything like that, then they won't have access to the funds. And then there's also what is big now is DeFi, or decentralized finance. And there's also centralized finance, which is, you know, putting your money on an exchange and they'll give you certain returns. So that's, I'm into that now. That way I'm getting like residual income. Like every week I get a certain amount of money coming in that's guaranteed, because since there is no overhead, all these different protocols can offer interest rates to people, and it's very competitive. Some offer up to 15%.
Yeah.
And like the APYs on these funds. So you could put, if you put a lot of money in,
Some of the exchanges or the wallets.
even exchanges and different protocols.
Protocols, okay.
Yeah, like Curve, they haven't been hacked. So today we're here. The biggest hack in DeFi history happened today. It was it's called Poly Network or something. And what they were doing is, you can move money in different chains. Like Ethereum is its own blockchain. Yeah. Binance has their own blockchain. There's another blockchain called Polygon. They have their own blockchain. And then there's another one, Ontology. Like all these different cryptocurrencies have their own blockchain. And this company was created to pretty much connect all these different chains together where you can move your money freely. And they got hacked today for almost over $600 million.
Wow. And so if you had your money on
any of these different chains, you lost. Like one of the big guys' name is Box Mining. He wrote a whole thread today. He said he had a substantial amount of his money, like diversifying, because, you know, within crypto, you want to make residual income. You want to make interest on your money. You know, instead of putting your money into a bank where you're earning less than 1%, you can put into a different DeFi protocol, and they can, what they do is borrow your money, use your money, whatever they want to do with it, but they'll guarantee you a certain percentage on your money. So
now, so something like that with, let's say,
it's like banking.
So now, with what happened today, because there was a big
hack. So this guy had a lot of his money, probably had $10-20 million in it, and making, like, let's say if the protocols is giving you 10%, and you have 20 million, you're making $2 million a year.
Now, will this guy get his money back, or
it's gone?
Because a lot of this also isn't insured, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So, but there's a different protocol. It's called Cover. Okay. Or Nexus, where you'll give them 2% of your deposit, and they'll insure that money if whatever happens to it. But in crypto, there's really no insurance. Once it gets hacked, your funds are gone. Like some people call me crazy because I have money in Dodo. It's called the Dodo mining, and they're giving me 12 to 14% APY on my investment. And I have some money there that I'm making, and I have money elsewhere, money this and that. So, I collect a good amount of interest every week that I could say, you know what, I don't have to work anymore. Yeah, I can just live off of this. But I want to keep keep going, make more and more and more. Don't want to stop.
So, what's your success story, or at what point in time in your journey you were like, oh, okay, I can quit my job now? I know it's recently, but like at what point or what sets of events you're like, oh, I'm good? Was it a dollar value or confidence in your skills, or?
It definitely both. When I first got into it, like back in June, like when I got into like the Uniswap phase, and I started seeing all these crazy returns, and I'm like, man, this is it. This is my chance. I started believing like, yo, I can do this. I can be financially free. I can tell my parents, you don't have to work as much. You can stay home. So that's when I started to like really believe in myself. Like around September, like the whole when COVID hit, like when, you know, it's like peak COVID time.
Yeah.
You know, I really, and for coincidence, I had just caught COVID, right? So
Wow.
at the time,
And this is in the summer? Or
yeah, this
summer
is in the
2020?
summer. Yeah, around my birthday in July.
Wow.
So, you know, my mom tells me, don't go out. It's your birthday, I understand, but don't go have fun with your friends. You're gonna catch COVID. Whatever she says,
Yeah.
something like that, it becomes true. But I'm like, I didn't believe in her, right? So I went out with my friends, and boom, 2 days later, a friend of mine called me and said, hey, you know, I have COVID. And then they're like, you know, you should test yourself. So I go test myself. Boom, I have COVID. And with my whole COVID experience, that really kind of did it, because I was like, I can't go into work no more, right? So now I'm fully focused. Like it was like heaven sent, right? Like saying, God said, here, you know what, get COVID.
That's wild.
And just right?
So you got COVID, and you saw it as a blessing.
Yeah, it was like a blessing, because I was in my room on my laptop, and I used to sleep 3-4 hours a day. And at that time, it was crazy. That's when DeFi just started like kicking off. We call it DeFi summer, and people were farming. We call it farming, but it's, you know, it's.
Yeah.
That was the terminology for it. So at that time, that's what I.
What were you asymptomatic?
Yeah, so I was
Okay.
asymptomatic. So
Okay.
I didn't really have any like crazy symptoms.
Yeah.
I would get headache at times, but other than that, that's all it was. And then the crazy part
I
about
just gotta stop and say, you gotta be a different kind of breed to catch COVID and still be glued in that way during that time.
Yeah,
You know?
and it was like a blessing, because I got really focused into crypto, and that's all I did was just on my laptop all the time, legit, almost 24/7. My dad would wake up, he would see me, same spot, I'm sitting on my computer. I wouldn't even say nothing to him, because I used to be so busy. Like I can't even say hi. Sometimes I forget to eat. Like it was that crazy. Yeah. So that's when I really. And the crazy part is they said, oh, you wait 2 weeks to go get tested.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks happened. I went and got tested positive again. So,
oh wow.
And then they were like, oh, you gotta wait another 10 days. I go again, another 10 days.
And you weren't even going out at that
No,
time.
I was quarantining.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm like, maybe this is God telling me keep testing positive, don't go into work. And then finally I tested negative, and then I started going back to work, started missing some things, and I was like, man, I was just turned off. I'm like, you know what? I need to do this full time. I need to do this. I cannot do work and do this at the same time. So yeah, does that answer your question on when I started believing? Yeah, obviously it was, money. When you start, like, I had my first big hit when I was up. It was like I think 1 a.m. in the morning. This known developer had a coin, and me and my buddy SpaceX. Like I said, networking is a big thing.
Yeah.
You got to work within teams because there's a lot of things happening. You can't catch everything on your own. So there's all these different things that goes on. A new coin created, a new Telegram, a new website. You look on Twitter, what are they talking about? How many followers does this thing have? Or when did they create this website? And so on and so all these different researches that goes into finding out, is this coin legit or this coin is a scam? So that's when I got my first big hit in crypto. And at that night, I made, I think, $70,000.
Wow.
And I was like, man, at the time,
Yeah.
I was like, my goal was just to make $100,000.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, I really just got $100K in my wallet. I'm like, I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
What was the initial put up?
What was the initial investment?
Yeah.
Less than $1,000.
Wow.
That song.
Unbelievable.
Because it was a known developer.
Yeah.
And I was one of the first buyers into this coin.
Yeah.
It was just, sometimes you're lucky, you
Yeah.
know, and like God says, today's your day, you're blessed, you're gonna catch this coin. Sometimes it's someone else's turn, and you don't catch it. You're like, damn, what? Like the 5 a.m. that I was like, man. My dad used to say, maybe it's not your turn, it's not your luck yet, you know. Whatever happens, whatever blessing you get, just appreciate it. And the ones that you miss, it wasn't meant to be.
That's a word right there.
Like me and John, we were this past weekend. I had just woken up like 11 around. Like we had just went out partying the previous night. Usually we're up early. Like with crypto, I'm up very early trying to get like, cause between 7 to like 12, that's like a crunch time, you know. But lately has changed. Like the market has changed a little bit. But so usually we're up, like I'm up very, very early. But this time,
you said, when you say the market has changed, are you saying the amount of volume?
Yeah, because at first it used to be like shit coins, or these new coins were created, and there were all these different innovative devs that came out. Now it's just like a lot of these people are just here for, you know, scams, and then the market is not the same as what it was before, because a lot of, like back then, people had money to throw around at different coins. So since the crash had happened, you saw Bitcoin go from 64 down to 29. So that shook out a lot of people that were just getting into crypto, a lot of dumb money that getting into crypto. That's causing all these price surges to go crazy. So, and I had just woken up and I get a ping from a friend saying, hey, check this coin out. So I look at it. I'm legit on the toilet. This guy's in the living room, and I yell out, yo, check your phone. Go buy that. Go buy that. Then he goes and buys it. I'm running out of the toilet. Like I gotta get on my computer. I gotta buy this coin. It's called Roshi. So I bought it for me and my 3 of guys that we share together. And I bought the coin, and he had bought like $1,000 worth, and he made like 25 to 30K on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
it's amazing, man.
Sometimes you can get that lucky, because that coin was connected to Shiba. So
Shiba.
So everybody's like, okay, this might be the next big coin. So everybody was just putting a lot of money into it, and the returns was just ridiculous. So sometimes you can get lucky like that. I could be here right now, and then the next big launch happened. I look at my phone, I'm like, man.
Before we go on, I just want to say, because we touched upon COVID, and we're thankful that you were asymptomatic, but COVID is real.
Yes.
And we know we also are starting to see some restrictions come about again and whatnot. But a lot of people have, either lost their lives or have been really affected by COVID. Yeah. So we definitely want to, we want to make sure that we're taking that seriously too.
Yes.
Like COVID is a real thing.
Yeah, definitely. With the new Delta variant, we got to take it seriously. And,
Yeah. You mentioned farming. Is that the same as staking, or is that?
It's very similar. So staking is like they call it single asset staking, where let's say you bought 10 waters, and you put 10 waters together and you put it into somewhere, and they'll offer you, let's say, 100% return annually. And every week you get 1 water as a reward.
So you put your money or your whatever coin you buy, so and you're doing that to provide liquidity for the exchange.
Yes. Plus, once you stake, you just put that coin out of circulation. So what that does is the value of the coin goes up. So your coin is
because it's lower supply.
Exactly. So you just took that coin out of circulation, and so that's what staking is, and a lot of people get into that. Farming is you have to put 2 different assets together. So that this is providing liquidity, because there's Ethereum, the currency that you use to buy whatever new shitcoin that's created. So when people say they added liquidity, let's say a dev created some coin called, let's say, Space Coin. Right? So he created 1,000 space coins, and then he puts, let's say, 5 Ethereum together into liquidity. So that's 18,000, and then there's 1,000. So the initial price, if you put it together, if I do the math right, you're looking at $1.80 per coin as the starting price. Now, as more people buy into it, the price rises. So when you're providing liquidity, you add the initial currency, which is ETH, all the time with what we do. Now there's Binance Smart Chain. That's another thing where you do BNB, but this one is with ETH, and you get the underlying other currency. You put it together to provide liquidity. That way, there is more liquidity into the pool that people can trade freely without affecting the price so much. So with low liquidity coins, the price can move very, very fast. So it can. That's why they say pump and dumps. You see a chart go up, and then boom, one person can just crash it down. So as far as providing liquidity farming, what that does is provide more money into the pool. That way, there's less price fluctuations.
I think what's really cool about this crypto space is how many different ways you can approach it to make money, or even just grow your money. And I think a lot of people, like some people will be, let's say, willing or into putting the effort into finding all the new coins. And you talk about the Uniswap, and you do a lot of that. I think that a lot of people, and especially a lot of people who watch this video too, who might be thinking, how can I maybe be active but not have to be glued to my computer all day, and wonder like, what would be the best way to grow my money that way, or make money that way. And then there's some people who maybe do, are in other fields or do other things. I just wondering, how can I park my money in order to grow it? Can you talk about like the APY and whatnot?
So like you would look for more like reputable centralized exchanges. So like for the average like newbie, there's this exchange called Nexo. They claim they're insured by all these different insurances, but they've been around since 2017, and they've survived through the crash. Their team is doxxed.
You said they claim.
They claim, but
you're not sure.
I mean, they have a lot of money that they're managing. So I have money in there myself. So, but they always say not your keys, not your crypto. So, but also in a DeFi space, with what happened today, $600 million hack, it can happen anywhere. So with that, Binance also offers it. They're the #1 crypto exchange in terms of volume. But as far as in the US, there's Coinbase. But since Coinbase is like, very strict with like regulations, they want to follow everything by the SEC. They can't really take part into some of these avenues. But recently Coinbase came out with staking APY with USD coin. It's like dollars, where you put your money, you can earn a certain percentage. But with Binance, they offer it. If someone wants to put their money in as a newbie and they want to forget it, let's say you have $100,000 that you want to put, you can put it into Binance and make 10-15%, whatever the APY is. But with Binance now, well, they require know your customer, KYC. So with this now, it's very tough to do these kind of things because you need certain things. You got to do certain things backhand, like VPN. You need to get a VPN to set up your account, and you can get. But I wouldn't recommend anyone to do this.
And then know your customer. That's like a verification.
Verification, process,
yes. So to get onto the platform.
So with Binance US, they don't offer this particular feature because they don't want to get in trouble with the SEC, because there is regulation, government, and all this stuff. So there's there's regulatory uncertainty. So that's why with Coinbase, you don't see so many coins on there. There's only certain coins, versus Binance, they have a whole, different set of coins. But Uniswap, that's a whole nother animal. That's anybody can create any coin,
Yeah.
put it on there, and it's a free market, and everyone trades it. But if you're looking to get into crypto, and you don't have the time, I would definitely look into earning interest on your money versus putting it into the bank. My number one recommendation would be Nexo, because they accept U.S. customers, and they're giving you up to 12% on your money. So you put $100K, you can make between $10,000 to $12,000 extra a year.
Yeah, I think it's I think that's one of the best ways, because you typically, otherwise you'd be, or you're probably leaving your money in the bank.
Yeah, and not earning
any interest on it.
Yeah.
I know there's a brokerage that Toby and I was talking about, Voyager, where
they're offering
10% with USDC.
Exactly. Voyager offers it now, so you can get on that. They're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange, so they're probably number one as far as if you're looking for a secured exchange to use. But like I said, they are decentralized exchanges that you can use. There's no third party, but if they get hacked, your money is gone. So same thing with centralized too, as well. So they get hacked, your money is also gone.
Now, how do you feel about that, where when you think about the space, decentralization is part of the whole reason that a lot of this even came about?
Exactly.
Do you, but we're also seeing certain things that is still centralized, and then we're going to see more regulation as time goes on.
Yeah.
So do you feel like ultimately everything will be decentralized, or do you feel like it'll be a combination of the two? And how do you personally feel about it? Because you have to also have a lot of discipline to make sure that let's say it's not your key, not your crypto. So on one hand, that's great, because it's this is yours, it's private, you can lock it. But I've heard about people who've lost their keys, and then maybe had Bitcoin that they bought years ago, and couldn't find it. So it's
I mean that happened to me recently.
Oh really?
Yeah. So for anybody out there, when you're creating your wallet and they give you your seed phrase, it is very important. Make sure you write it down and put it in a secured place. Maybe write 3 or 4. If you're putting a significant amount of money, have 3 different papers. You can even go to the bank, put it in a lockbox, put something in a different location. Don't keep it all in your house. If your house burns down, you're all your money, everything is gone, right? So these are some of the steps that you can take. When they say, wow, it's raining very hard. But when they say, make sure you keep your keys and your password safe, they truly mean it. This happened to me. I had just created another wallet into a different browser, and I downloaded the MetaMask extension. I didn't think I was going to use this browser, but I ended up liking the browser that I was using, so I created these different wallets on there, and I didn't back up my private key, or I didn't back up the seed phrase when I first created, because I'm like, I was just using it one time. I imported my wallet and that's it. And I had like 6 or 7 wallets on there. Yeah. And I had coins in there that when I woke up in the morning, I went into the browser, I click on the extension would not give me a pop-up to put in my password. So I started panicking, and I just had to live to the fact that I lost, a significant amount of money, probably over 6 figures. Because of the wallets that I had and some of the coins. And it was painful, because I knew I had a coin that was practically like dead. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, it pumped like 50x. So I probably had like $200,000 worth, and I couldn't do anything to it. And I could see these wallets, they're there on the blockchain. No activity since like 75 days ago or whatever. And I can't do anything to it. Wow. It's sickening.
Sick.
You look at the wallet, you're like, that's my wallet. I was doing, but I can't get into it because I don't have the private key. So that's very important when you're starting. Always your private key, keep it in a safe place.
So I just wanted to shift gears real quick. So now, since you made some significant gains in the crypto space, I see you're expanding into a little bit of what do you call this? Real estate.
Yes.
Investment, Airbnb. Akin's in there a little bit. I'm trying to get into the space. Still studying. So with that, just highlight some things that you're doing there, real quick.
So my brother, I'm lucky to have him, but he's doing the Airbnb business, and I was, when I got this capital, I'm like, okay, I need to do stuff in real life, because still crypto could be, it might not go anywhere, or it could go to zero still. Who knows? There's so much. Let's say one day a big hack happens and the whole market implodes. It's still early. We're not even like 12, 13 years old into this crypto journey yet. So I looked into different avenues. So one was real estate. My brother started studying real estate, and so he got into Airbnb. And with that, it's a very simple business model. So, I mean, you got to have money or some kind of capital, but you approach properties or units and stuff, and you talk to the landlord or whoever the leasing agents are. You can talk to them and say, hey, I want to rent out the place, not to just live there, but to re-rent it out, versus you buying the actual property, which costs you a lot of money to do. So not many people are gonna go and buy a property and just put it up for Airbnb. So what we did, I said as a start, he was in Atlanta at the time, so I was like, you know what? He said, dude, just believe in me, invest in me. And this is somebody that, my brother is a hard head, so I'm like, all right, you know what, let's do it. So first investment, I think it was about $10,000 to get the place, deposit, buy the furnitures and everything. So we started, he started it. So, and I see how he was doing. He did well, got 5-star reviews, and then went on. He said, let's get another spot. So I got another spot, and then he got another B&B down in Miami through my cousin. My cousin funded that one, and then he came over here, and our B&Bs, we have 7 units, actually not too far from here. We have one building, it has 3 units in it, and another building with 4 units in it, and they're all up for Airbnb right now. He's doing pretty well. There's money in it. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. I mean, since my phone is connected, I get calls. I'm working on getting a business phone. We just opened a business account not too long ago. So I got to get a business phone, to get a business like Wi-Fi for the units and all that. So per unit, you're looking at $12,000 to start. Now you got to have some kind of reputation or resume within that field to be able to talk to landlords to let them rent their place for you and you rent it out. So, and sometimes you may pay a little bit of premium to do that. So got into Airbnb. So
I know Toby asked about either Airbnb and the real estate, and I think I saw is it off-campus housing that you provide?
Yeah, so we're looking into that, to get into places around Temple area. Okay. To get into students. That's actually probably more profitable because you can do per door versus the entire unit, because kids lived with each other and stuff, and they want to have roommates. Okay. And you can charge definitely a lot more with that. So he's more of the expert. I just know like the basic background of that. But my brother pretty much, I don't know how he does it. He gets calls, messages, 1 a.m. in the morning, this is not working, this, how do I get into this place, this, that, and the third, and he's doing well. We got all 5-star reviews. You can check us out at Supreme Living LLC. It's the one in Philadelphia. We have 7 units here. 2 down in Atlanta, 1 in
Yeah.
Miami, and we're looking to expand
Okay.
to different cities, but we want to take over Philly first. Yeah. And he needs to work on getting an assistant. I need to, believe it or not, I've been so busy that I have not gone to see the Airbnbs.
Wow. Yeah.
So he feels some kind of way. So today, after this podcast, I'm gonna go, or this viewing here on YouTube, I'm gonna go see the Airbnbs.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he pretty much takes care of that. Most
Yeah.
of the finances came from me, but
Yeah.
right now I'm not putting any more money in. We're making the money through the Airbnb.
Yeah.
Like so far, just this month for August, we made $9,000 just from the 7 units.
Word.
Just from the start of August till today.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wow.
He's doing pretty
We're
good.
just 2 weeks into August.
Barely 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So he's keeping the units booked. Sometimes like, hey, you got a spot? Like, nope, they're all booked. I'm like, all right.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. So that's what he's doing.
I see on the chat. And again, thank you for everyone who was tuned in and for sticking with us. It's been very very informative talk and also entertaining too, because you've had a journey.
Yeah,
you've had a journey.
Been through a lot, man.
Now on the chat, Anthony Muya, he asked how you give back to the community. He said, "Heavy pockets. Where's the give backs?"
So mainly this, I try to give knowledge to people on different avenues on the whole crypto space.
Yeah.
Started the whole Telegram channel. I have another channel that I post my trades.
Okay.
I have a lot of followers on there.
Okay.
But in crypto, a lot of, we'll call them influencers, they get a lot of slack because people think, you're dumping on them. So I started as I was a normal trader. I'm a hunter.
Yeah.
I trade, I look for stuff, and I want to give out the content. So at the time, I started to get tired of people taking advantage of the new people that were getting into crypto.
Yeah.
Because they would, post a coin, and a lot of people would buy, and they would dump, because you'll buy the coin first, and then all these people will buy after you, and then you ended up dumping on them. So they're still viewed bad in the whole space. Not a lot of influencers are liked. So I try to post the legit content where we can all make money, we can all eat. So that I've get messages, people say, "Oh my God, you're the best thing to happen.
Wow.
Thank you so much." I have people thanking me from all over the world.
Wow.
I have a friend who lives in Greece, sent me a crazy watch for my birthday.
Wow.
And you get all these different messages, keeps you going. But that's within the crypto community. But now, I want my friends all to make money, family and all that. But not a lot of people are into the whole space. Some people just don't have the drive to learn it and all that. So you can't force anybody to do it.
Yeah.
So all you can do is put out the content and be reachable. And somebody reach out to you, you try to answer and help them. And also, back home, my parents went back home, give money to a lot of people that were, that are less fortunate.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers Mr. Tony's question.
Definitely. You're making a real impact and really changing lives. I mean, from Greece, to
Greece,
the States.
Tokyo, Paris, South Africa,
Wow.
Australia.
Yeah.
Pretty much all over. People say I have to change my sleeping schedule so I could be up while you post your trades. Yeah.
So the crypto space now in 2021, we touched on how we saw it right up to over 60,000, Bitcoin right up to over 60,000.
Yeah.
I think Ether hit over 4,000, and a lot of coins were hitting all-time highs.
Yes.
And then came back down to high 20,000s for Bitcoin at least. And a lot of people I've been talking about, at least who are really engaged with the space, about another bull run. What's what do you see as the outlook right now in the crypto space, and what's your mindset around what we're seeing for the second half of 2021, and even just longer term too? Like, what's your sense of what you think may happen?
So long term, I always said this. I said, if everyone's comparing Bitcoin to gold, right? Gold is what, 8 trillion market cap. Bitcoin, when I got into it, was not even a trillion. Now it's a trillion.
Yeah.
So if we're comparing, saying this is the future of finance, or this is how people are going to be spending cash or money, we're still early.
Yeah.
It's 1 trillion versus 8 trillion for gold. Now, if you look at the whole market cap for currency worldwide, you combine all of them, you're looking at 100 trillion plus. And Bitcoin is still at 1 trillion. And if that's the currency to take over all the different currencies, then we still have a long ways to go. That's why you see these articles come out with these crazy, predictions saying Bitcoin is going to be $1 million in this many years, or it's going to be 200,000 this many years. Like, I couldn't even believe my eyes when I saw Bitcoin started to shoot up to 30, 40, 50, 60. I'm like, this is not stopping. I started to believe, I'm like, is this really going to $100,000?
Yeah.
And then it crashed. So with me, I always take profits along the way. It may have cost me a lot of money, because I know a lot of other guys who kept their money into crypto while it was running, because I have PTSD from 2017 because I didn't take profits. I saw all the money go up. And
that's something we talked about too. Literally use that term too, PTSD.
So it's like a kind of panic thing in my head where I'm like, as soon as it goes up, takes profits. Put your money into stable coins, take profits. Like, people think, the people who got into crypto, Doge, Ethereum, well, not Doge or Shiba, they kept it. They got attached to it and kept thinking it's gonna keep going up. It's gonna keep going up. It's already went up so high. Take your profits. Don't fall into that trap where I did. I didn't take profits, and then it went back down to almost my buy price or below, and went to zero. So as of right now, at the whole market, short term, I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen, but as far as technicals, I'm not really into technicals. They say Bitcoin broke 42,000, which is like a very technical indicator that we're bullish again. That's what the market people are saying, but nobody really knows exactly what's going on. So
so just to top everything off, is there any, so now that you've accomplished your goal, walking away from 9 to 5, what are some of the big plans you have or projects going on?
Like
other type of investments, what do you want to do?
So there's a lot that I want to do. One was the real estate. I'm still getting into that. Next would be but real estate wise, like B&B. Now what I want to do is buy units where I'm not paying the rent. So as far as building your resume and stuff, you can go, I don't want to use my own money, so I'll borrow from the bank with my credit, and they'll give me whatever amount, and I'm paying it, and I could buy a building. But these buildings here in Philadelphia, some of them are $800 to $1 million per building, and that's my next goal, is to actually own these buildings. Not only you're making money on the Airbnb, you're making money on the value of the property going up too. So when you're done, you can sell it at a higher price. So that's more of a bigger goal plan for me. Another thing is, looking into different businesses, mainly back home. Before I even, made this money, we started a bakery back home in our village. We started agriculture. in Guinea, and
Oh, wow.
now we're looking to do things in the capital city.
Yeah.
Because Africa is very
The Conakry? No,
Conakry.
Conakry, okay.
Yes, so Africa's like Conakry is very underdeveloped, and there's definitely plenty of opportunities out there that I believe that I can take advantage of and build and help back home. So,
Word.
so those some of the big things that I want to,
Yeah,
accomplish
word. That's really
outside of the whole crypto
space.
world. Yeah.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful. Yeah, we coming around the turn to the end of this interview. So a question that we like to ask is, if you were talking to your younger self, let's say Keita, maybe when Keita was starting to dabble into the stock market in college, in this earlier years before you landed in the space you're in now. What would you tell your younger self about the journey that you would be going on, and sort of like words of wisdom that you have now to navigate forward?
So, number one thing is to never quit. So always be persistent. If you want something in life, you set a goal, you never quit. You keep chasing it, keep going, keep trying, never ever quit. So this was tested in 2017 when I went through the whole crash. 2018 came around, I started to get into the, fresh out of college, like not fresh out, like 3 years out of college, still finding out what I wanted to do as far as career wise, jump into different jobs. What they say, like, the average person nowadays works at least 20 different jobs their whole lifetime or something like that, some crazy stat. So
millennial statistic.
Exactly. You don't know what you want to do in life. Like, I didn't know what I want to do at first, but when I first learned about crypto, I'm like, I just put myself in the box. This is my only chance. And if all else this is not gonna fail. I'm putting it in my head, like, everything else, if crypto doesn't work out, I say I'm gonna fail, and I'm like, I'm not gonna let myself fail. So I put myself in that box, and I'm like, this is it for me. This is what I want to do, and it's gonna work. No matter what I do, it's gonna work, and I never quit. Persistence is key. Self-education, learning, setting goals. That's certainly definitely key. Like now, since we're in the bull market, I'm like I'm into trading. The next thing that I want to do, if the market comes down, I want to learn about solidity, coding, and things of that nature. So those are the things that I want to learn. But if I had to tell my younger self, persistence is number one, and to never quit. Don't listen to people that are out there, like people used to say, "Oh, you still do crypto?" They see you like after 2017, you still do that Bitcoin thing. I'm like, yeah, I still do it. Since you don't have the money to show for it, they can kind of like, ask you those questions. But now, since they finally see it come to fruition, people want to learn. They want to ask you. And I'm like, I had a Facebook group that I wrote a message to back in 2017 when I got into it. I'm like, hey, I found the next big thing for all of us to become financially free. And I wrote all these messages, like this whole entire paragraph. 2 people read it. 3 or 4 people left the group. They thought it was a scam. And I had to write in the message. I'm like, this is the real me, the one that this is not a fake message. So I mean, you have people, family members, friends, they all, tell you, "Oh, you still do that, or you still do this?" Yeah, I mean, you just gotta keep at it. If you believe in something, keep at it and never quit.
Well, now, we really are appreciative of you coming on the show. This is Pep at Soup Talk. We're definitely gonna in the description, put in your tutorial that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned you have a YouTube channel too.
Yes, I did back in 2017, but it's no longer active. But
Okay.
you can see my old videos on there. How excited I was,
Yeah.
broke and stressed and all that.
And we know you're glued to your screen. You talk about your two screens, and
Yeah.
and you know, but if someone wants to get in touch with you or reach out to you, what's the best place to contact you?
It will be on Telegram.
Telegram,
I'm
okay.
always, you see my phone? You see this?
Okay.
Since we've been here, all this. So everything is
coming
Telegram,
in
Telegram,
strong.
Telegram. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Telegram is the best place to reach me. If you send me a text, sometimes I don't see the text messages.
Okay.
But
So we can put the Telegram in the description
Yes.
too? Okay.
yes.
Definitely.
So put definitely Telegram. That's the best place to reach me. That's where I have the tutorial. I have my trading channel on there. So that's where you can follow me and learn and how to get into this space. I want to help people become financially free. So the knowledge is power, and when you have it, you want to spread it around to everyone that you know of. Some people are, they find a certain niche and they don't want to share with people. They don't want people to live in misery. I'm totally opposite. I want everybody to make money, and yeah.
And financial freedom for everyone. Right? Everyone eats. Right? Yeah.
Just one last thing. We got a comment. He asked, "How'd you feel when you made your first 1 million?"
Oh man, it's crazy. I was like, man, I really did it. I was like, I don't know. It was because when at first when I got in, I set the goal, let me make 100,000.
Yeah.
Right. So I was in this trading group on WhatsApp, and we all traded stocks. So I used to tell them, which one of us is gonna be that one to make it out there? Don't forget. Whoever makes it, don't forget each other, right? So my first goal was like 100,000, and then within a month or two, I hit the 100K mark, and I told them, they're like, no way, you're no way, because they didn't see me trading stocks anymore. I'm like, man, I got something way better. But people want to do their own things, and crypto is dangerous. So I sort of like try to help the group by like investing for them, but I figured out that that's really not beneficial to the person or myself, because they're not learning and I'm doing it for them. And if I make money a certain way and they're like, oh, why didn't you invest in that? So I'm like, you know what? You have to do your own thing. I can't do it for you. Because,
I'm going through the same thing. So me and him, we do options. And I invested for a lot of people, and I'm like, I'm just out here stressing.
It's a lot of burden on yourself. And when you make it and it's not theirs, they start questioning you, and stuff. He's just going through it. Like, he invested for somebody and they're questioning him like, oh, why didn't you put my money in that? But everything happens so fast in a different moment. You can't go in somebody's wallet so quick to do it, and then you could lose their money. So it's very tricky when it comes to that. So I tell people, you want to learn, you want to make money, you got to go put time out. If you want to do it, you'll put the time out and learn it and go ahead and do it, So my first time seeing the first million, I was like, man, like I made 100K. I'm like, you know what? I need 500K now. So I get the 500K.
Yeah.
So I was at 500K for like a good while. And I'm like, man, what do I gotta do to make it, get over the hump? Let me get there. And I would just go back and forth, like 300, 400, 300. I stayed there for like a month, just kept going. And then finally, when I hit the first, I was like, I really did it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I really did this, like back in December. And I'm like, man, did I just really do it? And I'm like, man, I'm really not a millionaire yet, because if the market goes down 2%, I'm out of there. But seeing that goal hit, I'm like, man, I was like, it's ridiculous.
Given what you just mentioned about making your first million in the market and whatnot.
Forgot about
Gospel said, forgotten about us. So again, we're gonna post.
I still pay for the group, right? I paid a monthly fee, right? Out of my own pocket. I didn't forget about you guys now. Gospel. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No, and I was gonna say that with that amount of money now, something that is starting to come up, and we're seeing it even in Congress. That, they're deliberating about taxes, and we're starting to see more oversight in crypto. It's still, as you said, it's still the wild, wild west.
Yeah, still no clear regulation.
However, have you thought about that aspect of it in terms of like in real estate, for example, you have like the 1031 exchange where you can, if you sell an investment, you can put it into another investment without having to, you're able to reinvest the capital gains. Have you thought about in the crypto space what you can do in order to, I guess, just maximize your profits? And I guess for people, a question I think that's gonna start coming up a lot is just taxes.
Yeah.
And then, especially with the space being very, I want to say decentralized, like not to be punny, but like, you have these different wallets, different exchanges. When tax season comes, it's hard to get all your documents together.
Yeah.
So is that something that's crossed your mind? Just around aspect of it?
Definitely. Something that is like a burden because you're like, you got a lot of money to pay in taxes, and you look at different ways to like try to avoid taxes. Like I've even looking into moving to a different country because some countries don't. Yeah. They don't do taxes on crypto, so they're very crypto friendly. I mean, a lot of the people that are in crypto that are making it, they end up moving because they're like, why should I give the government 40-50% of my earnings when this other country just as good, I could buy without it or pay very little. So that's one thing. And then also, with the whole business thing, with the business, you could do a lot of write-offs and stuff. Yeah. So, but as far as taxes, I let a buddy of mine, he's a CPA, so I let him take care of that portion. Okay. And it's rough because I used to be like, man, tax the wealthy. Tax them. They don't need all that money. But now I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
That sentiment changed real quick.
Yeah, a six-figure tax bill. You're like, oh my God, this is ridiculous, man. Wow. So, yeah. Wow. So,
well, again, we'd like to thank you for coming on the show.
No doubt.
For everyone tuned in, thank you for listening. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. This is Pepe Soup Talk, and definitely like to say that Keita is a true mover and shaker in the diaspora, and we're really excited to see where you take things.
Okay.
In the future. So, yeah.
Thanks for having me on the show. Thanks to all the viewers. I know I shared the link very late, and also in crypto, anonymity is very big. So, but I still went ahead and shared with you guys with this show, and so thanks for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. I didn't forget any of you that were in this chat. You guys all have my phone number. So
and again, we'll post in the description the tutorial and information, for ways that you can follow up.
Do you have any questions, any last minute questions, or do you have anything to ask or say?
No, I just appreciate the time coming out. It was kind of last minute. You're like, I don't even know if I can make it in person.
Yeah.
It was definitely better in person than over video.
Yeah, definitely.
The wealth of knowledge was a lot.
Yeah.
I thought I knew a lot, but clearly I don't.
Yeah. This is actually our longest Pepper Soup Talk that we've done now, and the amount of information that you just
Wow,
Yeah, it
I
was-
can't
it was
believe
a
we were
lot,
on
so-
for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I feel like I could keep going for another 4 hours. Had a great time, definitely. And I hope some of you took some knowledge from this. And I'll have the links in his description so you can go view the materials yourself. You can hit me up on Telegram if you have any questions. But first, make sure you review everything, know what you're doing. If you hit me up and I ask you what is a private key, if you don't answer that, I'm not gonna talk to you. All right.
So, till next time, this is Pepe Soup Talk.
All right.